All right, welcome to a special edition of Hoops Tracker. Man, we've got Jon Rakiecki. John, I can't even pronounce your last name. Pronounce it for me.
You're not the only one. It's Rakieckie.
Rakiecki. There we go. We got Jon Rakiecki from Windsor. John, it's great to have you on the show. Um, Head coach at Windsor. Coach, talk a little bit going from last year. You guys made a huge run. That final game was I mean, I thought it was the probably the best game in the tournament against Mesa Ridge. Came up just a tad short, but talk a little bit about your coaching history and where you came from, because you used to coach at Rocky. You coached a little bit in Wyoming. You've played college basketball, and then now you're there. So take us a little bit through that journey.
Yeah, I actually my first coaching job was at Helena High School in Helena, Montana.
Okay.
Coached there when I was really young, fresh out of college, and moved to Bozeman High School in Bozeman, Montana. Got my teaching license and got my first head coaching job at Torrington High School in Torrington, Wyoming, which was awesome. We had a lot of success up there. We had great teams. And then took the job down in Fort Collins at Rocky Mountain High School. Was there for 3 years, and then made my way a little east to Windsor. I've been the years. I always people ask me how long I've been coaching or teaching. They kind of are blending together. I think this is my ninth year at Windsor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of went through. I played a little bit in college. Played at Colorado State, and my one of my former coaches is Bill Peterson. He's at DU right now. But yeah, I've been coaching for a little while and been having a lot of fun with it.
No, it sounds great. Talk about last year's run, because you guys had a lot of components. I mean, that Northfield game was close. You guys pulled that game out. You guys won. You guys go play Mesa Ridge. You know, crazy roller coaster game, but a great basketball game. But talk about that and how that's leading into this year.
Well, I mean, I think that run last year that we made was emotional. It was a source of pride.
Mm-hmm.
Winning that. It was a Vista Peak semifinal game at the last
Oh yeah.
couple seconds. And the Mesa Ridge game was a phenomenal game. My emotions were high and low throughout the game. Obviously, both teams came in there well prepared. We had played Mesa Ridge in the semifinals the previous year, and they put a beating on us. And I think that kind of was playing in our boys' minds heading into it, and it was just a phenomenal game. I actually refused to watch the film. There's a lot of players on the team that have not gone back and watched it. I finally did this fall, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I did.
Mm-hmm.
But Mesa Ridge made key plays at key times. Every time I think I counted it, we had 6 or 7 possessions where we could have tied it or took the lead, and we came up empty-handed in those possessions, and
Mm-hmm.
they always responded. Every time we made a run or cut it close, you know, they responded, and they were tough and physical, and um, I think they punched us in the face in the first half. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
settled down a little bit and made a run. I all the way till the end. I believed that we were going to pull it off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was that hope. And, obviously the boys were upset and disappointed and
Mm-hmm.
heartbroken, all those
Oh
emotions.
yeah.
But it set kind of the tone for our off season. And,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was a source of motivation moving forward into this year. And, um, we hope to have that opportunity again this year. But it was a great team. Last year's team was a wonderful combination of kids. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of those examples where kids working for the team all had a role. They fulfilled those roles and they played unselfishly. It was a great team to be around, and forever they can talk about making that run and getting to where we had an opportunity to win a state championship and fell a little short.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you talk about playing into this year. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about this year's team because you lost a couple of I think Johnny was a starter, but you lost a couple of guys that came off the bench that were key, but you guys returned quite a few you guys returned quite a few players and Madden Smiley, one of the top players in the 2026 class, John Tadise, Brady, and then you got some newcomers. Talk about this year's team and what it's going to look like.
Well, I think heading into the offseason, we had to fill some of those holes. We lost Henry Jones,
Mm-hmm.
6'5" post. Gavin Helm was a defensive stopper, and Johnny Reed was kind of the glue of our entire team. And so we had some holes to fill, and kind of the whole purpose of our team camps and our summer basketball was to see who would fill those holes. And we had some kids do a really good job of saying, "Hey, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to help." And
Mm-hmm.
um, we're excited. We're not going to be as long as we were last year, but we do have those key guys coming back and I think the key is experience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, for us, I thought it was very clear early in the state championship game that Mesa Ridge had been there before.
Mm-hmm.
They had that calm, cool, collected body language and mindset, and we were nervous early. I don't know if we really felt like we belonged early.
Mm-hmm.
I think that experience with Tedesse, with Madden, with Bachhaus, with Brady, those
Mm-hmm.
guys all played a lot of minutes in that game last year. That experience is going to hopefully pay dividends this year because
Mm-hmm.
they played at the highest level this offseason. They've had that experience in the state championship last year, and so we're really going to rely on them to lead us, try to uh,
Mm-hmm.
fill the Johnny Reed leadership vacuum,
Yeah,
and you know lead us to have a great season. But I love our group. I'm excited to see who kind of fills those roles once we get up and running. But I think everybody's pretty excited.
cool. No, that sounds great. Now, 5A this year, I mean, there seems to be a lot of parity, and it's not just at 5A, right? 6A, I mean, I think across the board, there's just a lot of parity. Talk about talk about the landscape in 5A right now. I mean, yes, you have two-time defending state champs Mesa Ridge, but they also they also graduated some key players off that team. You have a Lewis Palmer. That Vista Peak team was senior heavy, so Jordan Carter's rebuilding that program. But you have teams like Northfield that they got moved up to 6A, and Lutheran High School got moved up from 4A to 5A.
Yep.
Um, Talk about that landscape and what that looks like.
I think it's wide open. I agree with you. I think that um, there's some very talented, capable teams across the board, and we get to play a lot of them with our schedule, which I'm excited about. But I'm looking at that list of teams that you mentioned. The only team we saw played this summer was Dakota Ridge, and they beat us pretty handily at the UNC team camp. And they're talented, they're capable,
Yes.
they got some length, they got some skilled guards. You know who? So we played Palmer when all those seniors this year were sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're very talented. I think we played them in the Sweet 16 3 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
they gave us a run, and they were all sophomores. And I said these guys are going to be good, and they were good last year. And I think this is definitely going to be a good year for them. Meade's always, uh, you know, they always do well. They always seem every year. It's like
Darren seems, I don't know, he's got a factory going because it's like, I don't know what they've got in that water up at me, but man, he's got some size and we'll
I
see.
know, I know. If we get to play them, Lewis Palmer. they're always good, year
Yeah.
in, year out, well coached, fundamentally based. And then Mesa Ridge. I mean, I think it's going to come down to staying healthy. I think it's
Mhm.
going to come down to who's playing their best basketball, at the end of the year and gelling as a team and kind of
Yeah.
peaking at the right time. But I agree with you. I mean, there is no dominant team out there that
Right.
is just a shoe-in for the championship, and so I'm excited. I think everybody's excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Now you have a special player in Madden Smiley. Madden, like I said, one of the top players in the 2026 class, already getting. What's it like to coach a high caliber player like that? And Madden's a great kid too. I mean, he's got some good, you know, great to interact with, great leadership, humble kid. But talk about having to coach a kid like this.
I mean, it makes it pretty easy, honestly.
Mhm.
There are times where he can just go get a bucket or make a play,
Mhm.
and I kind of become just a bystander in the whole process. Madden he's a very talented basketball player. He's a better person. He's come from a great family.
Mhm.
And it's just, and I think the fact that he is such a great kid makes it so easy. You hear
Mhm.
about these talented kids with egos and attitudes, and like he's the polar opposite of that. He's the most coachable kid on the planet. He's eager to learn, and at the
Mhm.
same time, he puts in a ton of time on his own. Then that's why he has the skill set that he does, and so there is such thing as overcoaching, and I think with him, I'm really focusing in on his leadership and having him develop a voice, a little louder voice this year on our team.
Mhm.
But he's a pleasure to coach. He's awesome to coach. But again, sometimes in games or in practice, he does some pretty phenomenal things, and I'm just here to support him and help him reach his goals and help him help our team. And so
Yeah.
he's a great kid. He's awesome to have on our team, and I'm excited, because he's got a chip on his shoulder too. I'm excited and optimistic about his season.
Yeah, no, coach, this has been great. I mean, we're 2 weeks away from first set of games. Cannot wait. We talked a little bit. There's going to be this northern southern, uh, tournament where everybody's playing up north at a different location every night. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that because you're going to see uh, Mesa Ridge, you're going to see Lewis Palmer, and some of those other guys. So this is going to be fun. I'm excited for the season. We're excited for you guys. Thanks for coming on the show. This has been great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.